business model, business model, business model. So when you look into the secondary market, let's take, for instance, a company like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. They produce beverages or food, and it's clear that these beverages and food, they do have a negative impact on your health, obesity and so on. And this means they have the best ESG reports in the world, but in their business model there is no change, because the positive impact needs to be in the core products, needs to be in the core business model. And that's the biggest difference between impact and, let's say, ESG investment.
Welcome back to Grow and Learn, everyone. Today I have a guest for my new show, The Capital Playbook, VC, PE and Founder Strategies. I have a wonderful lady from Switzerland, Dr. Karen Wendt. She's the president of the Swiss FinTech Ladies, and she's engaged in quite a few institutions and parties in the Swiss ecosystem, but not only the Swiss, within the ecosystem of sustainability, taxonomy, EU taxonomy, and there was something else, but I'm going to welcome Karen first. Welcome, Karen. Good to have you.
Hello, I'm looking forward to our interview. Hello, everyone.
I'm very honored to have you on board. You have more than 20 years of experience in institutional finance. You're a blog writer on topics of EU taxonomy, FinTech, anything investor. Yes. That's a lot of work behind your back. What is your current number one topic, Karen? What is entertaining your mind right now?
I think a very important topic is tokenization of real world assets. So they're here in Switzerland, the first decentralized exchange, BX Swiss Digital, is opening, and they also offer a market making for digital assets. And so that will be the first time that digital assets are made transferable through tokenization, but also, there will be a liquid market for tokenized real world assets, and that's very exciting.
So when we say real world assets, will there be tokenization for ventures, small startups, stuff like that? Will these also be tokenizable?
You can also tokenize startups, you can tokenize ventures, you can tokenize venture capital funds, you can create a digital twin of existing venture capital funds or money market funds or whatever fund. But you can also, of course, tokenize Hermes handbags or wine, or you can tokenize real estate. We even saw projects of tokenization of rainforest.
Yes. So is this already a published project? Is it live already?
Yes, it's live. So BX Digital, they got their FINMA license recently. And now they are making themselves ready. So they are functioning on an Ethereum blockchain. It's not a private blockchain. It's a distributed ledger blockchain. And they will start dealing in September. So it's very real.
Wow, fantastic. And regarding your engagement with the Swiss FinTech Ladies, what is your role there, and what do you do as a group?
Yeah. So I started with FinTech Ladies some years ago when I realized that the blockchain industry and digital asset and crypto asset industry is still very, very male, much more male than investment banking, because there you have 20-30% women. So, well, that creates already a balance, and that's not yet the case when we talk about FinTech, crypto, and digitization of assets. So all the technical element plus the finance element together seems to lead to a situation where women are still staying away, and that's dangerous because, with the existence of digital assets or any shares, might it be traditional or tokenized, there are voting rights connected. And if women are not in the sphere, then they don't have voting rights. And then, of course, you can have a lot of good regulation and governance and whatever, but the main business decisions are made in companies. And if you want to have your say, then you should invest. So this was one of the reasons. So we said, okay, we first of all want to have more women in space. We want to make women more visible, which are already there and thriving and successful. We offer an academy, and since last year also a female angel club, so where women can invest into other women.
Mm-hmm. And the Swiss ladies, how active are they? Are they actively engaged also in learning more about the sphere, the fintech sphere? Do they invest in Switzerland? What is their decision process? Can you tell us a little bit about the investment profile?
Okay. So first of all, we offer courses, an angel training. We offer together with universities also a digital asset course, and we are an association. So that means we don't give any investment advice. We do have the Female Angel Club, but everyone is making their own investment decision. What's really making the difference is that you have the connection between the women and very experienced women from family offices and less experienced women who did our angel training and just started. And so through this connection, they can decide to do due diligence together, or they can get, support each other in the due diligence process. But we are mainly a platform that does awareness raising for deals that exist on the market, and you can download the term sheet and the letter of intent. The decision-making process is with each lady alone.
Mm-hmm.
Based very often on the network effect, talking to other ladies, what they think about the deal, whether they will invest, and so on. Mm-hmm.
You're also involved in impact investing, and you've helped institutional investors align with ESG and EU taxonomy.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see the biggest blind spots right now in venture capital, in private equity, when it comes to sustainable investing?
Okay, so I think, the private markets, so startups, venture capital, and private equity, they have both. They have the potential to really meaningfully contribute to impact investing, because impact investing is not, in essence, happening on established markets. If a company like Coca-Cola or ExxonMobil, when they are existing on the market, so they have their business strategy, they have their products, there you can do very little in the field of impact investing. Impact investing mainly happens with new companies coming to the market solving an environmental or social problem through market methodologies. And that means that it is true that in venture capital and private equity, there are a lot of companies who don't do anything. when it comes to ESG, or when it comes to sustainability. But there are also a lot of funds who focus exactly on that topic, and there is that possibility as well under the EU regulation to have structured and to get an Article 9, to be an Article 9 fund or AIM, according to the EU taxonomy regulation.
Oh, sorry, what is AIM? I am not aware of this abbreviation.
Okay, that is a private vehicle, for impact investing, and that is something you can, found in in Luxembourg, and so it is a special structure for impact investing. So, and this is maybe, of course, in the private markets, that's maybe 1 or 2% of the entire private market, but it has the highest potential. So private markets offer capital to companies that are fresh on the market, that grow from startup to scale up, maybe even then afterwards to IPO or to exit stage anyway. And it means that there you can really create impact and really have impact. And there are some venture capital funds that are concentrating on exactly that, especially here in Switzerland. So who is doing really very much in the field of impact investing here in Switzerland is Partners Group, for instance. And there's also the possibility for private investors and other companies, and other venture capital companies to invest alongside Partner Group. And they are very much impact driven, and they have the biggest portfolio, at least here in Switzerland. And they are private market. But if you, of course, do something like leveraged buyout structures where you buy out the old management from an existing company, then this is a typical private equity deal structure. But there probably you have no impact at all, and you don't have any ESG or other criteria taken in account. So it really depends on where do you want to focus on private markets. There's a huge potential, and now it is on us to really leverage that.
When we talk about the development now with the blockchain as a tokenization exchange in Switzerland and your work in impact investing, where do these two cross, and are there any overlaps and benefits from these two spheres of investment?
I think a lot.
Karen, are you there?
You have a lot of deals, a lot of start collect money at a digital exchange, where they, of course, have to fulfill the criteria of the exchange, where they have to do a prospectus and so on and so forth. But it's an additional opportunity for them to collect money if they have a good business model. And it might be, it's just a further option. And with regard to impact investing, when we talk about real world assets, like, for instance, tokenization of rainforest, then, of course, the impact sphere and the tokenization sphere and also the impact exchange or the exchange, then they overlap. And for those projects, I see a huge potential in the market in the future.
As an author of a blog that covers topics on impact investing, what do you think are some actions that investors need to take to move from compliance to actual transformative impact investment?
Business model. So when you look into the secondary market, let's take, for instance, a company like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. They produce beverages or food. And it's clear that these beverages and food, they do have a negative impact on your health, obesity and so on. And and often very come in packages like plastic bottles or use a lot of paper, and this means they have the best ESG reports in the world, but in their business model there is no change. A good ESG rating does not automatically mean that you are creating a positive impact, because the positive impact needs to be in the core products, needs to be in the core business model. And that's the biggest difference between impact and, let's say, ESG investing.
Compliance, yeah.
And so the first question you should pose yourself always is, what problem is this company solving? Do I have as an investor a clear picture on how the company is solving a societal or environmental problem, and whether you understand how they are doing it? So what will be the consequences of this business model on society or on the environment? And there you have to have maybe, first of all, in your own investment policy, I really recommend everyone to write his or her own investment policy, and then you should answer this question first. And so how can I understand whether this model has really created impact for the world? So how would I personally qualify anything as impact? And then when you have done your own work, then you look how they are circumscribing impact, how they are measuring impact, and then you should find a high correlation or overlap between what you see as impact and what they see as impact, because otherwise there are a lot of companies who claim that they create impact, but we also have a lot of greenwashing, whitewashing, and so on. So please find your own criteria. How do I know that this company is successful in creating impact? So what would be my criteria? That's, I would say, the most important one. The second thing is, how scalable is this business model? So very often we see in impact hubs projects like, we are making chips out of old bread. That's fine, but how scalable is the model? And or is there any possibility? Normally you should be able to scale by not using more resources. That would be great. And the third question then is, when you have answered the scalability and when you have answered the impact, a very important question is the company financially sustainable? Because it doesn't help anyone if you have a wonderful environmental or social impact, but you don't earn money. If you don't earn money, you will be gone from the market sooner than later. And I would say these are the most important criteria in impact investing.
When you talked about sustainability, a post on LinkedIn rang a bell by an Austrian lady who's also involved in sustainability goals. And she was talking about the carbon footprint of gaming companies, what a few hours of gaming usage per day has in terms of carbon footprint per year. And that's like hundreds of tons. And the gaming companies are basically untouchable regarding this impact that they leave. And people don't think about these things, I think. It's not... when we think about
AI, everything you do with AI, I mean, requires an unbelievable amount of electricity. So this is not just true for gaming. It is true for any AI agent. It is true for ChatGPT, Google researches. So yeah, I think that Microsoft just reactivated one of their old nuclear plants in order to have the energy or have enough energy for their services, and that shows that AI means at the same time much more use of energy, and this is an exponential relationship. So this is a real problem.
Mm-hmm. So basically the measures that were taken, I mean, some of them I find is quite funny ones, like culling cows in the Netherlands, for example, that happened 2 years ago to meet sustainable goals in Europe. They're quite offset by the increase in IT usage in processing power.
I mean, we will see. I mean, the question that goes with it is, do we have the right approach to carbon footprinting? Because the model we are having at the moment is the following. So I produce carbon emissions, so I buy certificates to neutralize that. But we could also have an approach where we say, okay, let's tokenize rainforest so that it doesn't disappear. Let's grow forest. Forest is inhaling CO2. It's exhaling O2. And that means maybe we need a different approach so that we can also have these rainforests as assets on our balance sheet. And then, of course, these rainforests you can use for producing CO2 certificates and selling them, creating cash flow. But I think that would require a change from a biodiversity approach to ecosystem services approach. So nature is providing ecosystem services for us, and at the moment they go unvalued. And probably we will not be able, so I don't know, maybe never say never. So there might be innovations that we need less energy for all the AI stuff. But at the moment, as it looks like, it's an exponential growth in energy consumption, which we create with AI, and somehow we have to offset it.
Do you, in your observation of the current economic situation in Europe and in the world, and the way it impacts impact investing and investing in general within your circle of influence, within your ecosphere, do you see any concerns or any changes in terms of investment behavior when it comes to any recent events?
Not really. I think everyone is working on what we call resilience. So do we really need products from far away, or can we produce them ourselves, even if this is a little bit more expensive? How can we shorten supply chains? How can we make them more resilient? I would say that's a huge trend at the moment. But beyond that, I mean, ESG was dead before all the other political happenings this year, because it did not work. It did not work. And I mean, Larry Fink from BlackRock, he just left the ESG approach last year, and that was a very, very clear sign that ESG, and I hope I made that clear, is not enough. It's not enough to have a good reporting system and to go on and producing, your products as before. I think, AI has exactly the same topic, and it's therefore a double-edged sword, because it can help a lot in making things more efficient, but it also uses a lot more energy.
Mm-hmm. Now, talking about AI, we know that the US has a clear strategy of being the leading power in AI. What do you see as talks in Europe and in Switzerland in particular about AI? Is there any ambition at all to invest in this sphere, or is it more like
So
a
in
forward?
Switzerland, there are a lot of AI projects. Yeah, I think innovation is a very huge topic in Switzerland. Switzerland has again been selected as the most innovative nation in the world. So AI is definitely a focus of many incubator, accelerator programs, startups, and so on. Of course, the US has and China, they have some sort of leadership there, and Europe has well, to learn to cope with that, or even to leapfrog. So yeah, put a lot of effort into finding the business models and the solutions, not of today, but the day after tomorrow. So that's the task at hand, because otherwise we will lose that race. I mean, neither China nor US will give up their leadership. Yeah, they have in the field, or that they have developed in the field. And so I think we have to really get much more creative and than we have been in the past to find solutions for the day after tomorrow. And this means also we need more capital flow into these startups and venture capital companies. And it needs to be seen whether that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that there's still a lot of segregation in terms of countries of who's going to be the leader of in AI? Is this like the new age military form or new age power? Who's going to be the leader in AI? Or do you see maybe that
Yeah.
we can collaborate in some way across country?
I mean, I see a lot of discussion about dual usage. So develop something for the defense industry, which you can also use for good. I'm not so sure whether this dual usage approach is a good one. I welcome, however, competition. So I think it's a great idea if, different countries try to become, the front runner, the best one in Europe. As competition always requires you to be more creative than the others, and that's finally a good thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Karen Wendt, how can people get involved with your work, get involved with Swiss FinTech ladies, or if they're outside of Switzerland, how can they get involved and be a
Yeah.
part of your ecosystem?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, as an Angel Club member, this is not bound to Switzerland. So our individual membership, corporate membership, that's bound to Switzerland. But in the Angel Club, we can have members worldwide. In the Angel Club, in the female Angel Club, as the name is saying, that's the only area where we have only women, because women want to talk to other women about their investments. And then there's also the book series, Sustainable Finance with Springer Palgrave Macmillan, which you can check out on the website. On the springer.com website, you can also, you find that publications. Also on my own website, drkarenwendt.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Anything else that I missed asking you that you would like to share and I didn't touch on?
Well, my main message is really start investing, because otherwise, as an employee, you can only grow your capital as much as the GDP is growing. And with investing, you can accelerate that. And if you do it for impact, that's even better.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your for your gracious input and for all the insights that you shared. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful day, all of you.